Hey guys, Terensu here with some community kerfuffle news to report on for you. I just kind of wanted to drop in and give my thoughts on this whole early Season 4 release thing. No doubt you guys have seen that several European streamers have already gotten access to the game, or Season 4 of Tekken 7 rather, not the game itself. They already had that. And they're basically streaming it and going over everything before the rest of us have even got the patch notes. Now, early releases and early access to influencers and content pushers and those type of things is nothing new to games. So I don't want to sit here and act like I'm just completely surprised this happened. At the same time, I've seen a lot of community reactions. Some people are furious. Some people are like, it happens all the time. I don't care. There's people like Eris who are like, this just proves my point about the problems fighting game developers have with their fans. So I'm not even going to play Season 4 out of boycotting it, and everything in between. So I just wanted to come and give my opinion on the whole thing. So to give a little clarity, you're looking at a tweet below. I'm not familiar with this player, Emily7, Nix Rose. And they're commenting RIP, of course, famous commentator RIP, who says that I would have preferred everyone got the game at the same time so we could all discover and share the discoveries at the same time. Maybe next time. And of course, she's saying, how can the rest of us get early access to Season 4? And she's got a clip of course, Main Man, someone named Every Ayat, don't know him, and then Mihawk and Journey in the Dark, who are streaming Season 4 content. Mihawk was streaming, probably still streaming as we speak. Right now, I watched a little bit of his coverage of Season 4 and just some of the balance patch stuff. So basically, what has happened is Namco Europe decided that they were going to pick this handful of people and give them early access to Season 4 and let them stream it and commentate on it. A lot of people are pretty upset. I'm not just like super miffed about the whole thing. I'm more disappointed as far as what I've seen from patch changes thus far, but that's for another video. But anyway, was Namco Bandai of Europe wrong to do this? Could it have been handled better? What's my thought? Look, this happens all the time. The top community creators and content pushers and those type of people, whether it's right or wrong, it's the way of the industry. And it's Namco's right to do whatever they want with their game. However, do I think this probably could have been handled better? Absolutely. When you just kind of out of the blue have one region that decides to give early access to something that's highly anticipated and there's no prior announcement or reasoning as to how those people were chosen, feelings are going to get hurt. Eris posted a very long rant, or No Pants posted it to his YouTube. You can go check it out. But he raised an excellent point that unlike, he used Dark Souls as the example, but other games, the community plays a vital role for fighting games in that they are the ones who are largely organizing tournaments and being the tech crew and doing all these things behind the scenes. And, Namco has nothing for you. If you're out here trying to make a living off Tekken, Namco is probably not going to be able to help you out, or won't. Street Fighter, Capcom is not going to help you out, or won't, or whatever it is. And so they just kind of come up and decided, here's the chosen handful of people that get this, and there's no rhyme or reason to who it was. Now, I'm not ragging on Main Man or Mihawk or any of those guys. They're all awesome content creators. But perhaps it would have been a little better if previously Namco Bandai Europe had offered this to all content creators, or if they had said, we're going to randomly draw who gets access to this. Because right now, all these guys just showed up and had it before anyone else, and there was no explanation as to how they got it. And so it turned some heads. And, none of the U.S. content creators have access to it. No one in Japan, as far as I can see, has access to it. Two very critical regions for Tekken, and none of them got it. So just in my opinion, fair, it's your game. You want to get it out there to people will watch and promote it. So that's great. I completely understand it. However, maybe there would have been a little less controversy if they had gotten ahead of it and said something like, hey guys, in order to get ready for Season 4, we're releasing an exclusive early build to these streamers, and they could have highlighted them and said, these guys are going to be how you get your first look on the ground with Season 4. because presentation is half of everything, how you present something. But instead, all these people just showed up out of nowhere, and it's like, hey, I'm playing Season 4. That's right, I've got it. You don't, I've got it. I'm being facetious. Main Man wasn't out there dangling it in front of people with a stick, poking at them. But, it kind of looks like Bandai is when they just kind of give this to people and set them loose with no forewarning or anything. Just kind of a bad approach from Namco. I cannot pronounce Namco Bandai tonight. I don't know why. But anyway, we can look at a few things. This is just Rip's post that was in that other one. This was Spaghetti Rip from Europe, I believe, saying, don't agree with certain people getting the Season 4 patch early. I'm not mad for not getting it myself, but the period of discovery, which is super fun for the community, has been jeopardized. I don't know if I'm 100% behind that, because I don't know how much these handful of content creators can spoil in the time that they have it, because Tekken is just such an incredibly deep game. I believe patch notes and probably the patch itself are coming out tomorrow. You just won't be able to use Kunimitsu until Tuesday sometime. So, I mean, there's going to be plenty to be discovered. It does suck that you get to see these other people experiencing it before you, seemingly arbitrarily. There was no application or no contest or no drawing. It's just like somebody at Namco decided, these are the guys we want to promote it, so we're going to give it to them. Here's Eris's tweet. Namco doesn't deserve the free advertising they get from creators. Devs need to realize the game is nothing without its players, creators, commentators, and tournaments. I think I'll wait for Tekken 8. Maybe they'll get a clue on how to handle rolling out content by then. He's got a good point. And Eris, you really need to go watch his video. He took a completely different view of it. Usually Eris is at least slightly contrarian. And his thought was more like, good for Main Man that he was counted by Namco as good enough to get this early. But what a slap in the face to all the other guys that, are just grinding constantly, putting out content for this game. And they get nothing. They get no help. They get no financial incentive. They get nothing. They're just doing it because they love the game. But, fighting game developers, they offer you nothing and give you no help. And again, this has always been my opinion with microtransactions and everything. Namco, or whatever company it is, has the right to do anything they should want with their game. But does that make it a good or right decision? No. Does it make always the best decision publicity-wise? No, it doesn't. And then Harada came out and said this. I saw this a little bit before I made the video. It's a horribly nonsense operation. I didn't understand the marketing sense of the European team. Also, you should stop thinking that I'm giving instructions to every corner of the world from 1 to 100. Like God. So obviously, this was solely the decision of Namco Europe, which is very bizarre because usually when you have these kind of situations with like a Japanese company that has branches all over the world, and I've worked for one before and it was very much like this, the Japanese office calls the shots. They basically will hire Americans or Europeans or whoever it is to run that branch, but then usually they will send Japanese advisors, and the advisors have the real power. If you're going to make a decision they don't like, they'll just say, no, don't do this. You should do this instead. And you pretty much have to. So I find it kind of strange that Namco Europe just plowed out on its own and said, you know what, we're going to give some of our community early access to this thing rather than, waiting for the instruction of Namco Japan and see if they want to do it. We're just going to do it. So very unusual, very strange that you see that. But obviously Harada was not informed and he didn't like it. But I mean, marketers are going to market. They're going to market things differently in different regions. They're going to do whatever they want to do. Again, my opinion is that if Namco wanted to do this to promote Season 4, I think it was perfectly fine, but they should have presented it a little better. I think maybe if they had come out maybe a week or so ago and said, hey, we've partnered with these content creators to give you an early look at Season 4. Here's where you can catch, their thought on it, their stream at this time. That would make it look a little more official. Instead, it just looks like, these streamers are in a back room getting a copy slid to them on a floppy disk under the table, and it's just not a good look, and I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. That said, I'm excited for Season 4 still. I'm not impressed with the patch notes I've seen thus far. It looks like we're continuing the tradition of the top tiers get more top tierier, and the bottom tiers get a little better, and then sometimes people get arbitrarily axed for nothing. I've seen a lot of mixed reaction, in particular to Lee's changes. I know that back 4 has been nerfed and damaged. Back 3+4, which is his power crushing wall bounce, has taken a 5-point damage nerf, and there's been some changes to acid rain and a few things like that. A lot of it just seems so arbitrary. They never can do meaningful changes to Lee, especially if you believe GM when he talks about Lee's hitbox issues and inconsistent combos and those types of things. None of that ever gets fixed for him, so it's frustrating because I feel like he's a textbook example of a character that people at least feel like needs some love. You can see it out there. I don't know about like Miguel, if he's still got his T-Rex arms. I know that Jin and Kazuya and Devil Jin have all gotten significant buffs. In fact, you should go check out Main Man's take on Kazuya's new While Rising move. It has some Japanese name, I don't remember it, but basically a tracking mid While Rising move. He gets to basically patch up some of the holes in his vortex as if he needed that. But anyway, guys, what do you think for Season 4? I'm planning to do some streaming of Kunimitsu, just basically my first take, getting in the lab, trying her out, that kind of thing. So do drop by for that. Look for that Tuesday night sometime, probably. I'll be on probably sometime in the evening Central Time. Just look around 7 or 8, somewhere in there. I should be around. But anyway, what did you guys think about the streamers getting access to Season 4? Do you think it's fair play? Do you think it was good, but Namco should have handled it better? Or do you think it's BS? Do you think they not should have done that? And that they need to work on a more open, better relationship with the community and the content creators for Tekken? Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. This has been Terensu giving you his opinion on Tekken.